All right, guys. Now we're at part two. So if you didn't see part one, I recommend you see part one because he talked about most of this. He's gonna wrap up talking about the rest of this, and I'm gonna talk about the rest of this article and the next article. So let's wrap up with this one. Yeah, support his channel because he's putting out free content here that I'm just reviewing because it's in the public domain that I want to bring to the attention of people all over the world. So that's what it is. Support people who put out good content besides me, because I'm not the only one, obviously. Let's continue. Do that, guys. Oh, let's get that going. Okay, what did you guys think of that? Batteries and supercapacitors, the future of energy storage, as per Undecided with Matt Farrell. Do you think it was interesting? Was it relevant? Did it give enough information? You're welcome to give your opinion in the comments below. Just make sure you keep it relevant and civil, as we're only trying to uh, add anything and provide anything that is positive to the experience. I am open to constructive criticism or suggestions, but make sure it's just exactly that, constructive, and not just say, well, that sucked, or I didn't like it, or that was stupid, or whatever, without saying why. And when you say why, first you need to say why, and second of all, you need to have a solution. Other than that, it's kind of like saying, well, gravity works this way. Well, I don't think it should work that way. Well, what do you suggest instead? Well, I don't know. I don't like gravity. Well, too bad. Let's continue on with the article. This approach described in paper published in Advanced Functional Materials demonstrates the potential of PEDOT nanofibers for supercapacitor applications. Unlike batteries which store energy through slow chemical reactions, supercapacitors store and release energy by accumulating electrical charge on their surface. This allows them to charge and discharge extremely quickly, making them ideal for applications requiring rapid bursts of power, such as regenerative braking systems in hybrid and electric vehicles and camera flashes. Better superconductors are therefore one route to reduce dependence on fossil fuels. The UCLA chemists produced new material through a unique vapor phase growth process to create vertical PEDOT nanofibers. These nanofibers, resembling dense grass growing upward, dramatically increase in the material's surface area, allowing it to store more energy. By adding a drop of liquid containing graphene oxide nanoflakes and ferric chloride, which is, by the way, the main compound, on a graphite sheet, the researcher exposed the sample to a vapor of precursor molecules that eventually formed the PEDOT polymer. Now, instead of developing into a very thin flat film, the polymer grew into a thick fur-like structure, significantly increasing the surface area compared to a conventional PEDOT materials. Quote, the material's unique vertical growth allows us to create PEDOT electrodes that store far more energy than the traditional PEDOT, unquote, said the corresponding author and UCLA materials scientist Mayer El-Kadi. Quote, electric charge is stored on the surface of the material, and traditional PEDOT films that have enough surface area to hold very much more charge. Very much charge. Sorry, excuse me. Very much charge. All right, that's not correct. Very hold very much charge. Hold greater charge, not very much charge. We increase the surface area of PEDOT and thereby increase its capacity enough to build a supercapacitor. The authors used the PEDOT structures to fabricate superconductors with excellent storage capacity and extraordinary cycling stability, reaching nearly 10,000 or excuse me 100,000 cycles. The advance would pave the way for more efficient energy storage systems directly addressing global challenges in renewable energy and sustainability. And he said a polymer is essentially a long chain of molecules built out of shorter blocks called monomers, said Al-Kadi. Quote, think of it like a necklace made from individual beads strung together. We heat the liquid form of the monomers inside a nanoflakes. The reaction causes monomers to bond from vertical nanofibers. These nanofibers have much higher surface area, which means they can store much more energy. The new PEDOT material has shown impressive results, exceeding expectations in several critical areas. Its conductivity is 100 times higher than the commercial PEDOT products, making it far more efficient for charge storage. What's even more is remarkable is that the electrochemically active surface area of PEDOT nanofibers is 4 times greater than the traditional PEDOT. This increased surface area is crucial because it allows for much more energy to be stored in the same volume of material, significantly boosting the performance of supercapacitors. Now, ahead of you is the actual graphical representation of that. So you have the EDOT monomer here, showing its chemical bonding formula. Then you have the GO slash F, that's FeCl2, or sorry, 3, dispersion from the EDO2. And then finally, the dispersion itself is in the end. So once you have this dispersion, it goes from one state, which is the vapor phase polymerization, to what you see under the microscope here. Our caption reads, an example of EDOT monomer vapors react with droplets of graphene oxide and ferric chloride with PEDOT nanofibers. Credit goes to Mayor El Kadi and Muzabao Jimu. Thanks to the new process, which grows a thick layer of nanofibers on the graphene sheet, this material now has one of the highest charge states capacities of PEDOT reported to date, more than 4,600 millifarads per square centimeter, which is nearly 1 order of magnitude higher than the conventional PEDOT. Now, on top of that, the material is incredibly durable, lasting through more than 70,000 charging cycles, far outlasting traditional materials. These advances opens the door for supercapacitors that are not only faster and more efficient, but also longer lasting, which are essential qualities for renewable energy industry. Quote, the exceptional performance and durability of our electrodes shows great potential for graphene PEDOT's use and supercapacitors that can help our society meet our energy needs, unquote, says corresponding author Richard Kainer, a UCLA distinguished professor of chemistry and material science and engineering, whose research team has been at the forefront of conducting polymer research for over 37 years. As a doctoral student, Kainer contributed to the discovery of electrically conductive plastic by his advisors Alan McDermid and Alan Heeger, who later received the Nobel Prize for their work. Nice work, nice job. Other authors in the study include Masabu Francis Jimu, Gray Carson, and Mackenzie Anderson, all of whom are also at UCLA. Well, UCLA is known for this type of stuff. For more information, Masabu Francis Jimu et al. Direct fabrication of 3D electrodes based on graphene and conducting polymers for supercapacitor applications. As per Advanced Functional Materials 2024, DOI 10.1002/ADFM.2024 05569, provided by the University of California, excuse me, I'm tongue twisted here, University of California, Los Angeles. The author would like to point out that the story was originally published on Tech Explorer, and that's with it, not with that's capital X, PLORE, which is in lowercase letters. Subscribe to their newsletter for the latest sci-tech news updates. Now let's go to our second article. And before I do that, I would like to let you know, as usual, that this is for review, informational, and educational purposes. This is not to take the credit for the intellectual property of the article. The full credit to the intellectual property of the article goes to the publisher, which in this case is the Washington Examiner. Story by Anna Giartarelli from the Washington Examiner. Headline reads ICE or ICE officers blitz U.S. arresting 460 immigrants under Trump's mass deportation operation, as per the report. Here you see a picture of this place, and I believe ICE officers blitz U.S. arresting 460 immigrants under Trump's mass deportation operation, as per report. Well, all I can say is that if you have a law in a country and everybody else has to go in the country legally, then people need to follow the law or follow the consequences. You know. So yeah, yeah. So if you have a law saying you have to do A, B, C to accomplish D, you don't go say, well, I don't want to do A, B, C. I want to do F, G, H. Well, guess what? You're not going to do F, G, H because the people who are in, you have a law that needs to be enforced. So if it's not being enforced, why have the law? So if you're going to have a law, enforce it. That's it. That's just my take on the matter. Federal law enforcement officers from the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, otherwise known as ICE, ICE as the acronym, have become carrying out President Donald Trump's mass deportation operation, making arrests this week in Boston and other major U.S. cities. ICE has arrested more than 460 illegal immigration, or excuse me, illegal immigrants. It is illegal immigration. Primarily with a criminal or gang-related background since Trump took office on Monday, a staggering number. Arrests have occurred from coast to coast, spanning from California to New York to Florida to Minnesota, so in all different directions. Yes, if you guys didn't know, I recommend that you watch my previous recordings where I mentioned, not I mentioned, but in the video, Trump mentions the people who's going to have deported first, which is your criminals, people breaking the law, especially violent criminals. So let's continue here. Arrestees are citizens of Afghanistan, Angola, Bolivia, Brazil, Colombia, the Dominican Republic, Ecuador, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, Nicaragua, Senegal, Venezuela, according to Fox News. In and around Boston's ICE's, that is, enforcement and removal operations officers made 8 individual arrests this week of illegal immigrants, including MS-13's gang members, murder and rape suspects, a Haitian gang member, and at least one person on the global Interpol wanted list, according to Fox News, which embedded ICE in Boston on an unspecified day this week. Quote, today was a good day. Today we took several significant public safety threats out of our community, said Patricia Hyde, ICE's enforcement and removal operations, acting field office director in Boston. Unfortunately, a lot were released by sanctuary city policies, but we're here to tell the Commonwealth and the rest of the country that we're going to find them whether they're released or not. Well, here's the thing. There is a hierarchy in terms of jurisdictions, okay? So in legal jurisdictions, there's a hierarchy. So you start, of course, with your local level, which is the town, city, whatever you're living in locally. Then you have the state. Then you have the federal. So it goes in that order, not in the opposite order. So that means that they have to follow the laws according to that hierarchy. You can't just say, well, our state doesn't want to follow the federal laws. Well, if it's not unconstitutional, it's in a real law, then guess what? They're going to have to follow it. There's no choice. Ahead of me, I'm going to have a video here from Oneida. Actually, it's a related video entitled "Trump's Vengeance on Illegal Immigrants." 460 plus arrested within hours in biggest crackdown by U.S. ICE, as per Oneida video. I've pronounced it right, as per Oneida video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to maximize this now. I'm going to show you guys what it is. I'm going to have you guys come to your own conclusions on what this is. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, now I recommend to the people who are watching this to pay careful attention to what they're saying and what's being done. So details, as they say, devil's in the details. So details matter, but get an overall understanding of what's happening so you get the idea from the video. As what I'm just doing is I'm going to play what's already in the public domain, because I don't want to have you go to my Rumble channel just to go to the article so you can play it. So I'm going to do that for convenience and also for increased interaction with the viewership. Let's redo this. Sorry, let's redo this. I need to actually enable the sound. Ready, guys? Make sure we have full. See that? That was from a previous video, guys. Executive order. Now he can do this because the Constitution gives him that executive power. It's one of the rights and responsibilities of the president. Oh, sorry. Commercial. You know they have to have commercials to fund these channels. Let's skip it for now. Pretty disgusting, right? Look at that. Pretty disgusting, people. See, that's the focus, focusing on public safety threats. This is going to be a priority. Makes sense. See that, January 21st? The law has to be followed out. Why have a law if you're not going to enforce it? That's just my opinion. It's the opinion of many people. Okay, guys. There you go. All right. So, what do you think, guys? Do you think that was accurate portrayal and showed enough of what we're dealing with? Okay, that's up to you guys. I'll let you guys comment in the comments below what you thought of that video there. As usual, please keep it relevant and civil, as we're only trying to add something positive to the experience. If you have any suggestions or critical or some constructive criticism, which is of course critical, make sure it is constructive and not as in, well, this sucks, but you didn't say why and you didn't give a solution. Or didn't like it, well, okay, you didn't like it, but good for you, but why? And what is your suggestion? Let's continue on. Trump unleashed ICE to arrest illegal immigrants with criminal backgrounds, as well as immigrants already ordered by a judge to be removed from the country. See, already See, it says ordered, already ordered by a judge to be removed from the country. See, but they're still there, but they weren't removed. As part of the Republican Party's 2024 agenda, promising, quote, the largest ever deportation, unquote, in a second term. Under the previous Democrat White House administration, ICE had its authorities narrowed, including under former President Joe Biden, to focus on arresting the worst of the worst criminals or arresting those with less serious or no criminal records. It sounds on paper like that makes sense, but the thing is, again, you're ignoring the other parts of the law where you have to say, okay, you know what it is? We need to enforce the law. White House border czar Tom Horman told the Washington Examiner on December that, quote, collateral arrests, unquote, are people who were not the target of arrest but encountered during them will also be arrested and could be deported. By the way, some of these criminals have actually killed some of the people working for ICE or these other governmental agencies, so these people are not innocent. One such collateral arrest in Boston included an MS-13 gang member who was encountered when ICE officers showed up in a location to arrest somebody else, but discovered other individual, and a background check revealed as a second person's gang affiliation. The gang member was arrested locally, and despite ICE asking the local jail to detain him until he could be transferred to ICE custody, it released him. Yeah, that's not good. ICE is not carrying out raids, as some Democrats' immigrants' rights have claimed. ICE is only arresting dozens to hundreds of people at a time when carrying out a warrant at a large job site or has been warned against employing illegal immigrants. See, that was their excuse. They say, well, we don't have enough labor. But you see, the thing is, there's a simple solution to that. What you do is you use technology to do the tasks of the people who are doing these jobs as low-paying jobs. You think the low-paying job is that the software engineer, the architect, the engineer? No, it's the guy stacking shelves. I mean, if it's a honest job, I'm not making fun of it. I'm not blaming them, but that's what it is. So if they say we don't have enough people for that, I'm just going to say, you know what? Guess what? We have technology. They already have it's like a moving cart of some sort that actually moves things from place to place. And they've already had this technology for some years now. And it's able to know exactly where in the factory to move things around. And they can just move it from place to place and have multiple ones working almost 24 hours a day. I mean, with the occasional, like charging of the battery and or of maintenance. So you already have technology that can do those jobs. So that was the old excuse, but in my opinion, the real reason why they have this is because they don't have enough people voting Democrat anymore, as you've had lots of defections to the Republican Party. And the only way to ensure that Democrats are going to keep being elected is by having people who came in this country illegally or in an unfair way. So that's actually the predominant theory. Whether you believe it or not is up to you. In the case of arrests in Boston and other cities nationwide, illegal immigrants were arrested one by one, making the 460 figure even more impressive. One such man arrested in Boston, who Fox News identified as a, quote, volatile Haitian gang member with 18 convictions, not one conviction, 18, had recent years told our cameras he ain't going back to Haiti and F Trump, Biden forever. So you can see these are not innocent people. These are not uh, productive members of society. These are not even people here legally. ICE and Department of Homeland Security did not respond to requests for comment. Why? What are you supposed to comment on? People have a job to do, they do it. And then they're the people who are running those branches or locations, whatever term you want to use. Those are the people you talk to because those are the people who are making decisions, not the regular people, okay? You may have a supervisor in field, which has some decision-making power, but everybody else, it's irrelevant, okay? what their comment on it, so I can see why they didn't have anything to comment for that. Now, guys, and everybody else watching, before we conclude this, I would like to ask your opinion about these two articles. The first one, namely, being plastic supercapacitors could solve energy storage problems. The second one is ICE officers blitz U.S., arresting 460 immigrants under the Trump's mass deportation operations, as per the report. What do you think of those two articles? Are they interesting? Are they relevant to your life? And do they provide enough information? You're welcome to give your opinion in the comments below. Just make sure to keep it civil and productive, as we're only trying to add something positive to the experience here. If you have any suggestions or constructive criticism, you're welcome to put that in the comments below, but make sure to provide a solution and not just a criticism. The key word is constructive, not deconstructive, not just, as they say, talking smack. It's we have an opinion. This is why we have the opinion, and this is the solution. So if you understand, that's what it is. All right, guys. So I'd like to thank all the people watching. This was part 2. So again, if you haven't seen part 1, I recommend you watch part 1. So I'd like to first of all, thank all the people watching on Facebook Live first, and also the people watch the recorded version on Facebook, as this is where I broadcast this first. This is the source. So what I'd like all the people who are watching it live or the recorded version on Facebook, what I'd like you to do is please click thumbs up on the video. That way more people can see that there was people who were able to view it and enjoy it. And that way people will also see that they will also be able to view and enjoy it. For all the people watching the pre-recorded version, or actually the recorded version, pre-recorded is kind of sort of redundant, but the recorded version on YouTube, Rumble, Dailymotion, and Vimeo, what I'd like you to do is please click like on the video. That way it'll be pushed to the algorithm and more people would be able to view it and enjoy it. If you haven't already, please click the subscribe button. That way you'll have access to all the content on this channel, as I certainly do have a variety of content on this channel for you to view and enjoy. By the way, guys, I will have even a greater variety while I'm going to be doing AI generated stories. I want to show how and the creative ability of not only how it comes up with these storylines, but also its creative ability as it goes on. So I have the storylines, and also I'm going to be doing other RPG related AI generated campaigns with interaction. So basically, I would be the one running the campaign, and then I'm going to have stuff where I'll have one engine play a character or characters. And also, I'm also currently working on a campaign where I'm going to compare each engine. So each video will be like this engine, its thought process, and how it played versus, and then I'll have another video of this one. And then what you can do is compare the two videos. And the reason I want to make them separate is because otherwise it's going to be too long to have this. So we want to make it so it's not too long, so it doesn't take too much of people's time up, and also doesn't take too much of my time up. So it's a win-win. Also, guys, if you haven't already, please click the bell button. That way you'll be notified of all my future videos. That way when one of my new videos comes out, you won't miss it because you'll be notified accordingly. So I'd like to wish you a great day wherever you are in the world, guys. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.